Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode number 30 of Playing with House Money on the Toilets to Titles Network. I'm Ice. You can find me on Twitter at Iceman_1013. This right here is the live bet king, my co-host DJ Pru at PruBaby10. How you doing today, bro?
Doing good, man. What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Episode 30. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's a good week. It's a very busy week. Obviously, happy holidays again to everybody. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and whatever they celebrate, and hopefully we go into the new year strong.
Oh, hopefully they were. Hopefully they joined either the Toilets to Titles Gilded or they joined the Playing with House Money Discord, and not only did they enjoy their Christmas, with the family and the presents under the tree, but you delivered on Christmas Day and the SGC delivered on Boxing Day, the day after Christmas for you.
Yeah,
Boxing Day for me.
Yeah, it was nice to learn that it had a name. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Christmas Day was fun. It was one of those, we got into that mode where we're like, dude, injuries are getting out of hand. And yeah, we were like, dude, we're not chasing much. We're gonna do, real precise plays, stuff like that. I posted one play for the Philadelphia game. It's a 3-leg plus 500 plus 520, I think it was. Devontae Smith, 60 plus and a touchdown, and then Jalen Hurts for a touchdown. So yeah, first half cash. Would love to see it. And then we had a solid weekend regardless. I mean,
we had a lovely Thursday night football.
Yeah.
Again, my anytime touchdown scorer darts, A.T. Perry cashed the plus 700.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, this is insane. This is insane. The intuition is not failing you on Thursday nights. So
no, it's not. And it's been good. And then I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are dead to me.
Are they finally?
Finally, yeah. I mean, I should have just taken the Buccaneers money line, which had worked for me the previous 2 weeks, and I was like, no, you know what, Jacksonville, Floridian rivalry, they're going to come out, and do something, and just they didn't show up until the fourth quarter when Trevor Lawrence left the game, and CJ came in, and I was like, oh great, and then they threw 2 touchdowns and went for the 2 extra points after both of them, and missed. All they had to do was hit one, and we'd have hit. They missed both of them, and it was horrible to watch because everything else was already in and wasn't even a sweat.
Yeah.
So Jacksonville are not going in. I mean, that they themselves are not going in any of my bets. I mean, I've got. Funnily enough, I'm going to dive back in on the Panthers because they're playing the Jags, and that worked out well for me last week. So it's going to continue to fade them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville needs Caleb Williams, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, rather them than the Chicago Bears, huh?
Everybody needs Caleb Williams apparently. So
the way it's going right now, I think I'm going into several of my championship round fantasy matchups with a combination of Browning, Flacco, and Mullins at quarterback in Superflex as well. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I also thanks, but I'm surprised I'm even here at this point. But these guys are putting up numbers.
They definitely are.
Yeah. But hey, if you want to, like we said, it's getting to that time of year. Fantasy championships are being decided. I know that, potentially in some leagues they might have already been. If not, this, week 17 is going to be the finals. Kind of, actual championship weekends. I know if you play on ESPN leagues, they do the whole 2-week thing, and it runs into week 18. But if you need any start sit advice, follow the Toilets to Titles team on Twitter. Join the team on Sunday morning. They'll be doing their start sits. Reach out, join the Gilded chat. There's a great group of guys in there. The Toilets to Titles team are doing giveaways every week, it seems, for their Gilded and their Patreon members. If you're watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe for us. That would be brilliant. And comment, throw any questions or anything in there for anything that you're hearing from us. And yeah, if you want to join us, we have our Playing with House Money Discord. A lot of the winners are in there. Find us on Twitter at PW_House Money. And yeah, the links are all in there, or hit me and Pru up on the Twitter as well. And we, like you said, football season might be coming to an end, but soccer season is in the middle of it's in Christmas break in a few leagues, but we're just really kicking on to the really important stuff on that side, and we've got NBA in full swing, and won't be long until spring training rolls around and you're back on the MLB train.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got and off season's always fun too. I mean, it's Toast the Titles is going to offer these people a lot more than just in season start sits and stuff like that. They'll keep you updated on everything. So yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely jump in there and holler at us. You can always shoot the shit with me on Twitter too. I tend to do my best friendliness on there. So yeah, definitely hit us up.
And then, hey, what have we got? What have we got this week? Is kind of the big. I say kind of big.
Here,
I guess they're big games, but we got I see. Like I said before, we have like the Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yep, the Toilet Bowl.
Yeah.
The the McDonald's Bowl, the Taco Bell Bowl. You got everything. You got a bowl game for everything. I think I have a bowl game named after me at this point.
You should if you don't. If you don't already, we'll reach out to the NCAA.
I think I'm going to reach out to the committee with Florida State. I should have worn my new shirt today. I didn't think about that. I definitely dropped the ball on that one. It's if you can't beat us, cheat us. So, I'm not too excited about the Peach or Orange Bowl as I was, as I would have been. Obviously, Florida State has a lot of guys that are out, that are sitting and stuff like that. So I'm not as excited for bowl season as I once thought I was going to be, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, we'll keep it to the main four that are super important. Obviously, you got Michigan, Alabama. You got Washington, Texas. With the semis, man, it's these are going to be dogfights, as anyone would expect. Obviously, you're going to get your best games out of a lot of these players, and sometimes emotions run high, especially early on in these games. And I think the one thing I have learned is Nick Saban knows how to get his teams ready for these situations. And Alabama, just them being in it with their type of rosters and setups, I think that they'll always have a chance. But I don't want to give people too many early props. Obviously, these games, as people know, these games are, New Year's Day, so they some of the lines will adjust. Some of them actually might adjust pretty heavily. They might swing one way or the other depending on what we find out. But you can definitely jump into the Gilded. You could definitely jump into the Playing with House Money Discord. I'll most definitely have a few plays for these semis. That's a fact. But as of right now, I do foresee that it'll be my bold prediction. It'll probably be Alabama, Texas. So very American championship. That's going to be two blue bloods, rich histories. I do think Michigan can hang with Alabama, but I just don't see it. I don't see them winning it, to be honest with you. So that's my prediction for these games. If you want some easy money, take the Georgia money line because they're going to be facing the scout team of Florida State. They have a bunch of guys sitting. Um, yeah, it's basically every star that they have is sitting, getting ready for the draft. So, yeah, that's going to be my prediction for bowl season, and yeah, we'll go from there. But definitely jump into the guild and jump into the Discord. I'll have some plays with some player props and some touchdown props and whatnot. And we have a couple smaller games. I guess I shouldn't really say smaller like that because obviously every bowl game is important for these schools. But yeah,
Mhm.
we'll mess around with a little bit all week.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. And then tonight we have, hey, and like we said, Thursday night football has kind of been all right for us.
Yeah,
Some of us,
betting wise. Yeah, betting wise.
yeah, betting
Watching the
wise,
games
yeah,
is watching the games is torture. It feels like these matchups are insane. But Joe Flacco has just found new life. Guys out there 25 balling. So
yeah.
yeah,
This is
we got
this is the the Flacco kind of revenge game against the Jets. I say kind of like
yeah, kind of.
some of these some of these uh some of these journeyman quarterbacks. You could kind of have these revenge games every other week, but I mean, he was at the Jets, did a job for them, and was released. Found
And then
himself
got
at the
replaced by a guy his age.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, it was there's definitely I think something there, and also he's not the only Browns player that that was on the Jets last season. You've got Elijah Moore as well, and yeah, I really like that combination for. I think his line's at like 30.5 receiving yards. Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think my big bet of the night is Joe Flacco 250 passing yards. Um, Elijah Moore 50 receiving yards and the touchdown plus over plus 1,000 plus 1074
Oh wow.
for those. Yeah, because I think Flacco's passing line is at 220, 230 odd, 232
Yeah.
on FanDuel, and yeah, Elijah Moore's it's at 34 and a half. So yeah, I mean, I like them, and hey, like the Cleveland Browns are still in the hunt, currently fifth in the
Oh yeah.
AFC. So, they
Yeah, it's a must
can,
win for them. This is definitely a must
yeah,
win for them. And Flacco's thrown 3 games of 300 plus for him to have his line. Obviously, the Jets defense is very good, but for him to have that
yeah,
line is kind of crazy too. So yeah, I
yep,
love both of
and
those.
yeah, for sure. And like I say, I think obviously Amari Cooper's just had that huge game
Right.
last week, so it
A
would be
week a
easy
week
to,
late. A week late, Coop. A week late, Coop. That would have definitely propelled me into fantasy championship in my own league, but that's water under the bridge, my guy. I accept the
yeah.
apology.
But yeah, Elijah Moore's kind of been, for that reason, last week he only got a couple of receptions for 20 yards. He's been there the last two games, but yeah, I think Flacco and Moore, they're definitely going to have a conversation. They definitely have talked about this leading up to this game and wanting to make a point. And hey, I mean, the way Flacco's playing, like 50 yards and a touchdown, like we saw Amari Cooper do that at least once last week, if not
Yeah,
twice in one
right.
catch.
Yeah,
So
200
I
some
mean,
yards, man.
that's all it takes. Again, is one catch. We cashed the Shaheed over line at, again, kind of similar, 32 yards. It was his second catch, but even if it was his first and only catch, he would have cashed the line. So I think I definitely think there'd have been some conversation amongst the Browns staff. Like these guys
Yeah,
have had
on the
that talk.
plane, they probably flew together together.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we're gonna get these fuckers.
uh-huh.
But yeah,
But
I'm
yeah,
I'm going with
anything.
the more probably obvious choice.
Come on.
Um, Amari Cooper's at 57 and a half. Love
Yeah,
that. David Njoku's at 48 and a half. Love that. Um, so those two and the Njoku touchdown um is plus 650. So it's plus 230 just for the yardage if you don't want the anytime touchdown. But obviously, Njoku's been a
Yeah.
huge red zone target. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are the three I'm going with. I'm not fearing the Jets defense as much as I probably have in the past.
Yeah.
Only because Cleveland's playing very, very well. It's a must win. Flacco's getting rid of the ball really quick. Um, and he's just throwing dots, man. So you can pressure him. You can give him a good, you can give a good defensive game and still give up 100 receiving yards and a touchdown. So I like
Yeah.
those three for the plus 650.
Indeed. Sounds good, man. And then hey, we have one Saturday game, and I think this has got the potential to be. I know, like last week we had the 49ers Ravens on Christmas Day, being everyone's Super Bowl preview, but this Lions Cowboys game that we have on Saturday evening has the potential to be an NFC Championship game preview. Potentially.
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 It won't, but it's potentially.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any
It could.
any of these guys
Could happen.
Yeah,
it could happen. I could win the lotto today.
Yeah, well, no, you're not. You're not. Which one of these two do you not think has a chance of getting to the NFC Championship? Oh, I know you're probably going to say both. So then my question for you is, who is going to be the NFC Championship game? Niners, Eagles?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, this Cowboys defense.
I hear you. I do hear you. Trust me, I hear you.
I think the way it is with the Lions being the 2 seed, the Cowboys being the 5 seed, I think the Cowboys have a better chance than the Lions of getting there.
I could agree with that. I could agree that if it's going to be one of them, it's going to be Dallas. I would say that if it's going to be one of them, it's going to be Dallas. It's not going to be both.
And I think the thing I joined the guys on the Toilets to Titles flagship show this week, and they were talking about obviously playoff implications and stuff. And I think the big thing for me, the reason why the Eagles, as the 3 seed as it stands right now, have the best chance of going back to the Super Bowl is that they've been there, they've done that. They have a team of players that have been in that position and have won the game. Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy.
Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl.
Huh?
Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl.
He did. I mean, I just think.
I don't believe in Jared Goff either, though, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, it's not necessarily. I actually like Jared Goff. I actually have him. I picked him up a lot this season in fantasy, but he's okay. Not with this team. That's what I'm saying. Like the recent history with these teams, with most of these players, like they've got to do it in a situation where they've never been in before. And these playoff games are one and done, right? Like that's the great thing about the playoffs. You mentioned it. I know that you kind of talked about it this week with in the fantasy championships where you have the 7 and 8 seeds playing in a championship game.
Yep.
Right. That's yes, it's a little bit more difficult to end up with a 7 or 8 seed in the actual NFL reaching the Super Bowl, but it's not completely unheard of that one of these teams that's not the 1st or 2nd seed are going to get there and do it, especially when you've got more so in the AFC, when you have the teams like the Bills that are, the Bills or the Browns down at the 5, 6 seed. These guys have, could on their day, right? It's in that one game.
Yeah, we could put the Raiders in the playoffs, apparently.
Oh yeah, well, you could, but that's the point of it. Like that's the difference between the playoffs in NFL against the NBA or the NHL or the MLB, right, where you're playing 3 or 4 games. It's best of 5, 7, whatever it might be. This is literally one and done, and all of these teams have lost games this season. So. And they've all lost to teams that you probably wouldn't have expected them to lose to.
For sure.
And that's the beauty of the playoffs is that, hey, You might have home field advantage. You might be seed 1 against seed 8. That really on the day to those 8 seed players doesn't mean anything.
It's a game
You're
of
going in
inches.
there like, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, no, I think it could. I think this has the potential on Saturday night to be a great game. Also has the potential that it's a prime time Saturday night could end up just being Dallas Cowboys defense shuts down the Detroit offense. I'm not sure they're going to be able to. Like, their running game is dual threat. We know what Montgomery can do. We know what we've seen what Jahmyr Gibbs can do. Like, plus you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown that's going to stretch the field. Like, you've got Sam Laporta who's had best rookie tight end season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
For sure.
in history.
And Dallas's linebackers are beat up. Dallas's linebackers are beat up right now.
Yeah, Dallas. So a good point for Dallas here is that they're playing these potentially playoff games to end the season, but you can also look at that the other way: is that you're going through 60-minute like wars every week going into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
you said, like, it's the catch-22, right? Like, which side of the ball do you want to be on? You don't want to have an easy run. You don't want to be doing, like what the Chiefs are doing and freaking having the worst game of your career 2 weeks before the playoffs start. You don't want that, but you also don't want to be playing, the Ravens. Similar thing, right? They've just beat the 49ers. They've now got to go and play. They're playing the Dolphins this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, like first and second seed in the AFC. Like, that's the AFC Championship game potentially right there. Like, you've got to play that game in week 17.
Yeah.
And then, so which way round do you want it? I think you want it somewhere in the middle where you have a test, but it's also a game that isn't super stressful because there's a lot rides on this as well. Like, these games now,
seeding, everything.
And
yeah, I think Detroit's run game is going to be difficult to get around, but if Micah Parsons can show up for that pass rush, Dallas should be okay. To tell the people, I do like Sam Laporta this week to score. But his yardage is probably the safer route. Simply because you lose a guy like Leighton Vander Esch earlier in the season, and until every game after that, you're kind of adjusting to his replacement, and they might play very well, some weeks, and sometimes they'll let some stuff slip. And I think Sam Laporta's having one of those seasons where you don't want any backups guarding him, you don't want any gaps for potential harm in your defense and your zones and stuff like that. So I do think that that'll be something that they do attack. I think they'll attack the middle of the field, a lot of the shorter stuff, get the ball out of Goff's hands quick so Parsons can't absolutely kill him. So I do like Laporta at that plus 145 that they have him at for the touchdown, but the receiving, I think he's really not even that high on there either. Yeah, 48.5. And then a sleeper that's been getting a lot of targets for them, Jameson Williams. We've seen it 4 weeks in a row now. He's getting targets you probably would not expect of him, and he's only at 31.5. We like those. It's like we said for the last game, and Rashid Shaheed, he's at 31.5. So for the 31.5, Laporta over 48.5 in the touchdown, it's 575. I like that all day.
Yeah, that Jameson Williams line, I think absolutely, like, he's quietly kind of got his way in, working his way back into this offense. And yeah, like, he's had 6 and 7 targets the last 2 weeks, gone over 40 yards in both of those games. So for his line in this game to be, like you said, around the 30 mark?
Yeah, 31.5 on DraftKings.
It's 29.5 on FanDuel. So yeah, absolutely love that. His reception line is at 2.5 as well for basically even money. So
yeah, love that too.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think there's a ton of value in this game. because this could, the potential that this game does go the way it could, like both of these offenses could rock up and put up 30 points.
I was going to say, yeah, they definitely could. I love CeeDee Lamb too at 98.5. Honestly, might as well throw that in there.
Yeah.
So I don't seem biased. So I don't seem biased to the Dallas Cowboy fans. I don't want them, thinking I don't support them when it comes to putting my money on stuff.
No, and the line's 53.5. That could for the total team total.
Oh, the team, yeah.
Not the team total, the total match total points.
I was like, where did they have CeeDee Lamb's total at 53.5? I'm about to go put a mortgage on it.
No, yeah. But no, and similar things.
If you add the CD 98.5, everybody you get plus 1,000. So let's run with that. I'll run that. I run that all day.
And then what do we have Sunday? What are you liking on Sunday's slate? Anything? Nothing?
Yeah, I do. We got, but my Sunday reads for the people. Just, take this with a grain of salt, everybody. Okay. I like to do my player props in my small stuff, because right now it's more than a game of inches. I don't know what the hell is going on in some of these matchups that just the Lord is listening to me on these Thursdays and saying, let him be wrong. So Sunday, I like the Raiders and the Colts to go over 43.5. I like the Los Angeles Rams to win by more than 4.5 at the minus 4.5. Tennessee plus 4.5. And then, I hate doing this with the big spreads, but Philly minus 11, because if anybody has a statement to make in the NFL right now, it's Philly. They need a bounce back game just for their own confidence. And they got a good matchup with Arizona to do so. Obviously, and Kyler Murray, that gives you another dynamic of trying to stop an offense. But luckily, they haven't been, he hasn't been hanging up too many points on teams, and I don't think Arizona's defense is going to be able to, slow down Philly as much as we'd probably think. But honestly, Philly's slowing themselves down. So,
and Philly have still got to secure that 3 seed. We talk about the Cowboys. They did the job. Like, if the Cowboys win out, the Eagles have got to also win out, because the Cowboys have the advantage in the head-to-head.
Yep.
So the Eagles have to win these last 2 games. So yeah, I think they don't want it to be. They do not want a repeat of what happened on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and you don't want to have to go to Dallas.
No, yeah, exactly. So, like you don't want to, have to rely on, like, go into the last 5 minutes of the game and you're only up a score, and then any mistake by anyone could result in the game going to overtime, and then anything like that. So yeah, I think they definitely will, like you say, for multiple reasons, they'll want to push themselves out to an early lead, get the scores on the board, and then really try and
So those 4 legs. Those 4 legs on DraftKings came out to plus 1228. So
nice. And yeah, mine are, the 49ers at Washington over 49.5. It's a big number, 50 points in the game, but similar things, right? Similar thing. The 49ers going to want to bounce back. Brock's going to want to bounce back and throw 3 touchdowns in this game. The Commanders are going to go in. They've benched Sam Howell, Ron Rivera. I don't know what he's doing, trying to keep his job somehow by throwing Jacoby Brissett in there. And Jacoby Brissett looked great, like the 4th quarter last week. And it's great if you have the receivers, and I do like that for Washington, like Terry McLaurin. But Terry. I definitely feel like they will put up a couple of touchdowns, 10 points, 15 points from them, and that gets you to the 50. I mentioned it at the start, the Carolina over 15.5 team points.
Hey,
Cashed fairly simply last week.
I was gonna say 30 last week, man.
They're finding they're going into Jacksonville, and like I said about Jacksonville, this wasn't necessarily a fade Jacksonville play. This was hey, Carolina scored 30 points last week. They put these numbers up. I feel like again, same type of thing. Same type of thing. It was. I didn't.
You're supposed to let the wound heal before you bet against them.
Nah, none of that. It's throw some alcohol on it.
It's okay, man. They've been on my no bet list ever since they did my girl Presley like that. So
yeah. Well, and hey, if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, then I like that even more.
I was gonna say even better.
Yeah. Even better that one. And then similar thing for the Buccaneers. I'm just going to continue to ride the Buccaneers until Baker Mayfield doesn't, gets eliminated from the playoffs. This is a big game. It's the New Orleans Saints in Tampa Bay. Yep. These guys are for the Saints. This is kind of must win. Like if they've got like a 10% chance of making the playoffs, right? Like they need to win this game. So if they win this game, then it's huge for them and their potential chances. But I just think everything that we've ever said about the Saints, against this Buccaneers offense, that, like you say, we saw what they did in the first half against the Jags last weekend, at home in Tampa Bay. Yeah, I don't see them not putting up 3 touchdowns, and their line is 22.5. You've got Rashad White, Mike Evans. They're both going to score. So, that's your 14 points already. You need one other touchdown out of them. I think I was surprised that the line was that low. And then, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs at home to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday afternoon, over 44.5. Just again, I mean, we know Joe Burrow, so there's going to be no Burrowhead comments. We're going to go in with but if Jake Browning comes into Arrowhead, then I don't even want to know what the Bengals fans are going to be like if that happens. So the Chiefs know what needs to be done, right? The Chiefs know that at this point in time, they do not want to go into the playoffs.
I'm so hoping since he pulls this out, so I can just block me. Just block me for the day. If Cincy gets that game, just block me for the day. All right. But hopefully Kansas City doesn't drop the game, because we're going to see plenty of drops in the game. Andy Reid, you can call me. I know I'm a little skinny right now, but we good. I can take a hit. We all right. I just know the hands are true. They're definitely truer than what we're watching on Sundays for you guys right now.
And you can just sit me up in the stands and I'll come and watch you. Chat to my girl.
Hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's do it. We'll last until I get on my Willie Beeman. Start throwing up in the huddle.
But yeah, those four for me are plus 1175.
Yeah, I like that. And that line, that total points line is low for Kansas City, Cincy, especially with how Browning's been playing. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Also, we're not sure if Brock's going to play for San Fran yet, as of right now. So that's the one that's I do expect Kyle to let him get out there and get his confidence back, because throw 4 picks.
For sure.
You definitely need a bounce back. So yeah, I like that.
And you need that bounce back in week 17 or 18. You don't need that. You don't want to hope that bounce back comes in the playoffs.
Exactly.
We'll be needing it. So yeah, I definitely think he puts him out there if he can. But at the same time, you don't want him to be injured, and you don't want to go into the playoffs with Sam Darnold as your QB1. Because
Sam season, let's get it.
Hey, again, another nice Hollywood story. But
that's what he was. He was a USC quarterback. I was told was generational. All right. All right.
But,
That's all I got for the folks this week,
oh man, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Shout any questions that you have, whether you're jumping into the Toilets to Titles Gilded chat, whether you want to join the Patreon with them, whether you want the Discord for the Playing with House Money picks, the SGC picks, everything like that, coming all weekend. Like, we don't stop, into the new year. Have a great new year, everyone, whatever it is, however it is that you're going to be celebrating this weekend. And we will see you all in 2024 when we'll still be playing with more house money.
Yes, sir. Going into the Kobe year. Let's get it.